Shawshank Redemption, a catalyst for hope. So the premise of this movie is that Andy Dufresne is falsely imprisoned for the murder of his wife and her lover. Um, he goes to one of the most secure prisons in the nation, Shawshank, and there he meets someone named Red who knows how to smuggle things into the prison. And during his first 3 years, he's abused by others in the prison and treated very poorly by the guards. But eventually, one of the guards finds out that Dufresne used to be a tax lawyer, and he asks Dufresne a question, and Dufresne helps him with it, and they realize he's very smart. So he begins to do all the taxes for the guards, and the warden has him do his illegal work for him. So this gives him an upper hand. This is a story of institutionalization, so it's trying to show how the prison system in America is kind of broken. So what it seems like versus what it really is. So Andy is beaten and assaulted. It seems like he gets the worst of what prison has to offer, and you see him losing his hope gradually throughout the movie. As I said before, he had a relationship with the warden, but it could be misconstrued that they were friends, when in reality, the warden just doesn't want Andy to leave. He just knows that Andy getting out would mean that he would ultimately go to prison for all the illegal things Andy knows about him, since Andy's helping him launder money, move it to offshore accounts, and whatnot. It seems like Shawshank is this prison where you could never escape, you could never leave and find happiness, but as we learn later in the movie, Andy escapes and Red is eventually released. So a good scene which shows Andy's supposed loss of hope is towards the latter part of the movie, and basically a new prisoner comes about, and Andy talks to him, and he tells him that at his old prison, his cellmate had actually told him of the exact crime that Andy was in prison for and said that he did it. So Andy goes to the warden and he tells him about it, and the next day the warden has the man killed that holds the key to Andy's freedom. So this is kind of the point in the film where Andy starts to lose his hope, and his resolution to this is going to Red and asking him to get him a large rope and saying he needs it by tonight, and Red, not really knowing what to do and believing that Andy would make the right decision, talks to his friends, and they all say, yeah, like he's definitely going to use it for the reason we think, and they all just decide, that's what the man wants, so give it to him, and they give him the rope, and then he goes into his cell, and the next morning, they all walk out of their cells, and this is what happens.
Give me a count. Tier 3 south, clear.
Tier 4 north, clear bound. Tier 3 north, clear.
Man missing on Tier 2, cell 245.
Dufresne! Get your ass out here, boy. You're holding up the show.
Don't make me come down there. I'll thump your skull for you. Damn it, Dufresne, you're putting me behind. I got a schedule to keep. You better be sick or dead in there, I shit you not. You hear me?
Oh, my holy God.
I'm found. You see? Say that to me, hey.
237.
What do you mean he just wasn't here? Don't say that to me, hey. Don't say that to me again.
But, sir, he wasn't.
I can see that, hey. Think I'm blind? Is that what you're saying? Am I blind, Haig?
No, sir.
What about you? You blind? Tell me what this is.
Last night's count.
Mm-hmm. You see Dufresne's name there? I sure do. See, right there. Dufresne. He was in his cell at lights out. Stands to reason he'd still be here in the morning. I want him found. Not tomorrow, not after breakfast. Now.
Yes, sir. Let's go, let's go. Move your bodies. Move it!
Stand.
Well,
Well, what?
I see you two all the time. You're thick as thieves, you are. He must have said something.
Also, Warden. Not a word.
Lord, it's a miracle! Man up and vanished like a fart in the wind. Nothing left but some damn rocks on the windowsill. And that cupcake on the wall. Let's ask her. Maybe she knows. What say you there, fussy britches? Feel like talking? Ah, guess not. Why should she be any different? This is a conspiracy. That's what this is. One big damn conspiracy! And everyone's in on it! Including her.
So basically, Andy had dug all the way through the wall behind that poster with a little rock hammer, and it took him 17 years to do. So basically what film critics mostly said was things that focus on the representation of prison in the film. So Jan Albert talks about it as a place that people go to and they never leave. But she also says it represents a place of rebirth. So in the film, when the prisoners come in, they're wearing nothing. They take all their clothes from them. They cover them in baby powder, and they march them into the prison, to their cells, naked. And she was saying that's how a baby comes into the world. So it kind of represents that, like, prison, your life is going to be new. You're just, like, that's your whole life. You're just in prison. It's also a tomb because you go there, you die, or like you can just never leave because of institutionalization. So, yeah. And then what I think is that the real focus should be on Andy Dufresne's purpose as a character. You know, he's a figure that, you know, makes miracles happen. And when others in the prison see this miracle, they gain hope. Red, for example, he gets hope from Andy, and when he has his parole hearing, his final parole hearing in the movie that's shown, he completely switches up what he had been saying from earlier, and talks about how, like, he doesn't believe in rehabilitation, and he's like so sorry for what he did, and he gains freedom through this because the guards really think he's sorry for what happened. So I think the institutionalization is really shown to emphasize how impressive it is that Dufresne doesn't let that affect him in his 20 years that he's in prison. And, you know, what should happen to a free man, Dufresne, takes a long time, and he's a horrible time in prison, but he does the impossible, and he's patient, and he gets out, and eventually he gets reconciliation for what had happened. He gets the warden in trouble, and he kind of exposes the whole thing, and he does what should be done, and Red gets free, and they meet up at the end. My thesis statement is the Shawshank Redemption seems to tell the story of a miraculous prison escape and the sadistic tendencies of both the prisoners and the guards inside. But the main character, Andy Dufresne, serves as the catalyst for the hope of those living in Shawshank who have the intense feeling of institutionalization brought upon them by a broken prison system. And the questions I have for you guys is whether or not my thesis clearly portrays ideas that are different from what the critics are saying, and then do you understand the basis of the film and how I understand the events in it? Thank you.